Welcome back to the channel known as Hub Coin Lovers and Treasure Hunters. Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and fascinating coins in modern U.S. coinage, the 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel. While millions of nickels are struck every single year, there are rare instances when one particular issue rises above the rest in terms of value. Let's get the satire at top 5 first up to 1996. P. Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that can turn what seems like pocket change into serious cash, and in some cases, big money that can make you rich overnight. At first glance, a Jefferson Nickel might not seem like anything special. It's been a familiar coin in American circulation since 1938, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous Monticello home on the reverse. But within certain dates and mint marks, extraordinary varieties and rare conditions can push the value of these 5-cent pieces far beyond their face value. The 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel is one such case, where rarity, condition, and collector demand intersect. The P mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 829 million nickels. With such a massive mintage, you might assume that none of them could be valuable. But here's where collectors need to pay attention. It's not always about how many coins were made, but how many survived in pristine, high-grade condition or with unique errors. What makes the 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel so exciting is the fact that high-grade examples are incredibly hard to come by. Most nickels from this year entered circulation, picked up scratches, and suffered wear and tear. That means finding one in mint state 67 or higher is like finding a needle in a haystack. These top-condition nickels are the ones collectors compete fiercely for, and they can fetch jaw-dropping prices at auction. In fact, some rare examples of the 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary to most people, but under the careful eyes of professional graders and collectors, it's worth a small fortune. The premium for these coins comes from the condition rarity, the fact that only a handful of them exist at such pristine quality levels. But condition isn't the only factor that can make a 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel valuable. Errors and varieties also play a huge role in boosting worth. Collectors love unique coins that show doubling on the lettering, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These minting mishaps are like one-of-a-kind treasures, and when paired with modern date like 1996, they become highly collectible and desirable. Another key detail to understand is the grading process. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, perfect coin. For the 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel, grades of MS65 are fairly common, but once you get into MS66 and especially MS67, the numbers drop sharply. This steep rarity curve is exactly why the value skyrockets. Collectors want the best of the best, and only a tiny fraction of coins make the cut. For example, a 1996 P Nickel graded MS67 by PGS or NGC can sell for over $1,000. That's 20,000 times its face value. And if one ever turns up in an MS68 grade, which is nearly flawless, it could easily push into several $1,000s. Think about it. A coin you might overlook in your change could secretly be a jackpot waiting to be discovered. The market for Jefferson Nickels has also been growing steadily. For years, these coins were underappreciated compared to other U.S. series like Lincoln Cents or Morgan Dollars. But now collectors are realizing how difficult it is to find certain dates, like the 1996 P, in superb condition. As demand rises and supply remains extremely limited, prices naturally follow the upward trend. When you compare the 1996 P to earlier Jefferson Nickels, it might not seem like a key date. But here's the twist. Because of the modern coin, fewer people save rolls or original mint sets. That means fewer opportunities for pristine survivors. The scarcity wasn't recognized until years later, which now makes the high-grade survivors even more valuable. So what should you do if you think you have a 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel? The first step is to carefully inspect it. Look for strong luster, sharp details in Jefferson's hair and Monticello steps, and the absence of nicks or scratches. If the coin appears exceptionally clean, you might want to send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Error varieties are another exciting angle. Some collectors have reported double die obverse examples with a lettering on "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" shows slight doubling. Others have found off-center strikes that reveal part of the blank planchet. These are the types of coins that can turn a standard 5-cent piece into one worth hundreds of dollars or more. The beauty of hunting for valuable nickels like the 1996 P is that they can still be found in circulation. It's not impossible for someone to receive change at the grocery store, look down, and realize they're holding a coin worth $1,000. This possibility is exactly what keeps coin roll hunters and collectors passionate about searching through everyday money. Collectors also know that the future potential of coins like the 1996 P is strong. As more examples are graded and the population numbers are tracked, the rarity of top-condition coins will only become clearer. Over time, the best examples will likely rise in value even more, meaning that anyone who discovers one now could be holding on to a small fortune for the future. In conclusion, the 1996 P. Jefferson Nickel is proof that even modern coins can hold incredible value. While it's a common date in lower grades, the rare gems in high mint state condition, or with dramatic errors, are worth serious money. So the next time you're sorting through your change, don't dismiss that nickel too quickly. You might just have a coin that could change your financial fortune overnight. Next up today, we're diving into one of the most shocking stories in modern coinage, the 2003 D. Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it looks just like an ordinary 5-cent piece you might get in your change at the store. But what if I told you that some of these nickels can be worth thousands of dollars, even life-changing money, in today's collector market? Yes, you heard that right. This small coin could make you rich overnight. The Jefferson Nickel has been in circulation since 1938, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 2003, billions of nickels had already been minted, and the design had become one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The 2003 D nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark placed on the obverse, to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Now, here's where things get exciting. Most 2003 D nickels are only worth face value, just 5 cents. However, a small number of them have been discovered with rare minting errors, die varieties, and incredibly high grades certified by grading companies like PCGS and NGC. These rare versions have sold for huge sums at auctions, far exceeding what anyone would expect for a modern nickel. One of the reasons the 2003 D nickel can be so valuable is because of condition. Collectors are willing to pay enormous premiums for coins graded in MS67 or MS68 condition. These high grades mean the coin is nearly flawless, with sharp details, a strong strike, and virtually no marks or scratches. Finding a coin of this quality straight out of circulation is nearly impossible, which is why collectors are ready to pay thousands for it. In fact, auction records show that some 2003 D nickels in MS68 condition have sold for over $2,000 to $3,000. Considering it originally cost just 5 cents, that's an incredible return on investment. Imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket change and realizing you're holding a coin worth more than a month's rent or even a small vacation. But condition isn't the only factor that drives up the value of the 2003 D nickel. Certain mint errors and varieties make these coins even more valuable. Collectors love error coins because they are one of a kind, created by mistakes in the minting process. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or even improperly planchet coins. For example, a 2003 D nickel with a strong double die obverse could command hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Some error nickels are so rare that they become the centerpiece of entire collections, pushing prices up dramatically in competitive auctions. Another factor that makes this coin special is its timing in U.S. history. The 2003 nickel was one of the last years before the Westward Journey series, which began in 2004 and introduced new designs to commemorate Lewis and Clark's expedition. This makes the 2003 D nickel one of the final examples of the classic Jefferson and Monticello design before the redesign, giving it historical importance to collectors. Now, let's talk about rarity. While the Denver Mint struck over 300 million in 2003 D nickels, the vast majority are circulated and worn. Only a tiny fraction survived in perfect condition or with unique mint errors. That rarity, combined with high demand, is what makes these few nickels worth so much more than their face value. The coin market thrives on these conditional rarities. Collectors are always chasing the top-graded examples certified by professional grading companies. If you own a 2003 D nickel in MS68, it might only be one of a handful known to exist, making it extremely desirable. That's why bidding wars often break out at auctions for these coins. For the average person, this means one thing: check your change carefully. You never know when you might stumble upon one of these treasures. Even if you find a 2003 D nickel in nice uncirculated condition, it could be worth holding onto or submitting for grading. You might just strike it rich with a coin you thought was worth only 5 cents. Collectors also look for coins with strong eye appeal. A 2003 D nickel with full steps on Monticello, meaning the lines on the building are sharp and fully struck, is considered far more valuable than one with a weak strike. Full steps designations can double or triple the coin's value instantly. So, how can you identify whether your 2003 D nickel is valuable? First, check for errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual marks. Then, examine the condition. If it looks nearly flawless, it might be worth sending to a grading service. Remember, the difference between MS66 and MS68 can mean the difference between a $20 coin and a $3,000 coin. To sum it up, the 2003 D Jefferson Nickel may seem ordinary, but hidden among the millions are extraordinary coins worth serious money. Whether it's due to a rare mint error, ultra-high grade, or stunning strike quality, these nickels have the power to change your fortune overnight. Don't underestimate the potential of this little 5-cent piece. It might just be the jackpot you've been searching for. So, the next time you get change at the grocery store, take a close look at your nickels. That small 2003 D coin could be worth thousands of dollars, and you might not even realize it. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, the Jefferson Nickel in your pocket could make you rich overnight. If you enjoyed this video, next up today's video is all about one of the most surprising and exciting modern U.S. coins, the 1999 Jefferson Nickel from the Philadelphia Mint with the P Mint mark. While most people think nickels are worth just 5 cents, certain rare varieties and conditions of this coin can actually sell for big money in today's market, sometimes reaching prices that could truly change your life overnight. The 1999 P. Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series that began back in 1938. By 1999, these coins were struck in very high numbers, but as always with coin collecting, it's not about how many were made, it's about the rare conditions, errors, and varieties that make a certain piece valuable. This is where the story of the 1999 P. Nickel becomes really interesting. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1.2 billion nickels in 1999, so at first glance, it might not seem like anything special. But when you consider that only a small fraction of these coins survive in flawless condition, and even fewer display unique mint errors, you start to see why collectors pay top dollar for certain examples. One of the main factors that determine the value of a 1999 P. Jefferson Nickel is a condition or grade. Coins graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC in the high mint state range, MS66, MS67, or even MS68, can be worth far more than face value. In fact, in these top grades, prices can skyrocket into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars because of their rarity. For example, an ordinary circulated 1999 P. Nickel is only worth face value, just 5 cents. But a coin in pristine condition with no scratches, bag marks, or where it could fetch as much as $500 to $2,000 at auction. The reason is simple. Collectors want the best of the best, and there are very few of these coins in such immaculate shape. Another area that makes the 1999 P. Nickel valuable is its error coins. Errors are mistakes that happen at the mint during production, and they can turn an ordinary nickel into a collector's dream. Some of the known error types include off-center strikes, double dies, and full-step designations on Monticello. The building on the reverse side, one of the most desirable designations for Jefferson Nickels, is called full steps, which refers to the staircase at the base of Monticello. On most nickels, these steps are weakly struck or worn away quickly, but if your 1999 P has clear, sharp, and uninterrupted steps, it can be worth dramatically more. Collectors go crazy for full-step nickels. Imagine finding a 1999 P. Jefferson nickel in your change, only to realize that it not only has full steps, but also grades MS-67. This kind of coin could easily cross into the thousands of dollars range, making it one of the most valuable modern nickels out there. To give you an idea of the market, certain high-grade 1999 P nickels with full steps have been recorded at major auctions selling for $5,000 or more. That's right. A simple 5-cent coin struck in 1999 has the power to bring in life-changing money if you have the right example. When evaluating a 1999 P nickel, collectors and grading services look for luster, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. Even the slightest blemish can drop the value significantly. This is why many serious collectors will only pay a premium for coins that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by top services. It's also worth noting that while the Philadelphia Mint struck the coin with a P mint mark, Denver also struck nickels in 1999 with a D mint mark. But between the two, the Philadelphia strikes are the ones most often associated with rare high-grade finds and stronger auction results. Another exciting aspect of collecting 1999 P nickels is that they represent the final years before the design changes of the early 2000s. The Jefferson Nickel underwent major redesign starting in 2004, so coins from the late 1990s hold a special place as part of the classic Jefferson Nickel era. For coin roll hunters, the 1999 P nickel is a fantastic target. Many hobbyists search through bank rolls in hopes of finding one in high grade or with full steps. The thrill of pulling a coin worth hundreds or even thousands out of a $2 roll of nickels is what keeps collectors engaged in the hunt. If you think you might have a valuable 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, the best step is to carefully examine it under good lighting. Check for sharp details on Monticello, and consider submitting it for professional grading. While most will only be worth face value, the small chance of having a high-grade or error coin makes it absolutely worth the effort. So, the next time you come across a 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, because that small piece of pocket change might actually be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Who knows? That one nickel could be the key to making you rich overnight. Next up today, we're diving into one of the most surprising treasures in modern American coinage, the 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 5-cent coin you'd find in your pocket change. But what if I told you that certain examples of this nickel can be worth a fortune? That's right. One of these tiny coins could make you rich overnight if you happen to own the right one. Let's break down everything you need to know about this modern rarity. The Jefferson Nickel has been a staple in U.S. coinage since 1938, honoring President Thomas Jefferson. By 2002, the design was still the classic Monticello reverse by Felix Schlag, with Jefferson's profile on the obverse. The D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions of them were produced, but as with many coins, the value isn't the ordinary ones. It's in the rarest conditions and error varieties. The 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel had a mintage of over 414 million coins, which sounds like a lot, and it is. That's why most examples are only worth face value, just 5 cents. However, collectors are always on the hunt for coins in pristine condition, or coins that have striking errors. When one of these is found in flawless quality, the price can skyrocket. That's where the story of big money begins. Let's first talk about condition. Coin collectors use the Sheldon grading scale, which goes from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS-70. The vast majority of 2002 D nickels are in circulated condition, maybe grading between VF 20 and negative 58 Australian dollars. Those coins don't carry any real premium. But when a coin is graded MS-67 or higher, it becomes extremely scarce. These high-grade nickels can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. One of the most valuable 2002 D. Jefferson Nickels was graded MS 67 full steps, which is an incredibly high designation given to coins that show sharp detail on Monticello steps on the reverse. Collectors love full steps nickels because they are so difficult to find. That particular coin sold for several $1,000s, proving that even a modern nickel can pack a huge punch in today's market. Now let's talk about errors and varieties, because this is where things get even more exciting. Some 2002 D nickels have been discovered with striking errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, and even double dies. Depending on the severity of the error, these coins can sell for anywhere between $50 and $1,000 or more. Imagine finding a nickel in your pocket with an off-center strike worth hundreds of times its face value. Another type of valuable error is the clip planchet nickel. This happens when the coin blank is improperly cut, leaving a crescent-shaped clip on the coin's edge. Collectors pay strong premiums for these types of errors, and a 2002 D-clip planchet nickel could fetch $100 to $500, depending on its condition. What about double dies? While not as common in 2002 as in earlier decades, a strong double die on the date, mint mark, or lettering could make the coin extremely desirable. If authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, such an error could push the value of a 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel into the high hundreds or even low thousands of dollars. The grading companies play a huge role in determining value. If you suspect you have a high-grade 2002 D nickel or one with a visible error, the smartest move is to send it to a professional service. Coins that are authenticated and graded bring in significantly more money at auction compared to raw, ungraded coins. A certified MS 67 full steps nickel can turn from pocket change into serious investment-grade treasure. In recent years, collector interest in modern Jefferson nickels has grown. People who once ignored these coins are now realizing that high-grade and error examples are much rarer than they thought. This surge in demand has pushed prices higher, making the 2002 D nickel one of the coins you should definitely check in your collection or change jar. One fascinating fact is that many of the highest-priced 2002 D. Jefferson Nickels were discovered not long after they were minted, when people started submitting rolls of brand-new coins to grading companies. This means that while the supply of high-grade examples is limited, they are out there, and if you find one today, you could be holding on to a jackpot coin. To give you a real-world example, a 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel graded MS 67 with full steps has sold at auction for around $2,000 to $3,000. That's a huge jump from 5 cents. And if a new discovery, an even higher grade, or a dramatic error appears on the market, the price could climb even higher, potentially reaching tens of thousands of dollars. Think about it this way. One ordinary coin, something you might spend without a second thought, could be the key to changing your financial situation overnight. This is the magic of coin collecting. The hidden gems waiting in plain sight. That's why it's always worth checking your change carefully. If you're looking to make money from coins like the 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel, always keep an eye out for two things: top-notch condition and rare minting errors. These are the factors that turn common pocket change into extraordinary finds. With modern coins, perfection is everything. So flawless surfaces, sharp details, and eye-catching luster are what you want. So the next time you're digging through your spare change or checking that old coin jar at home, remember the story of the 2002 D. Jefferson Nickel. It's more than just a 5-cent piece. It's a symbol of hidden value, a chance at overnight wealth, and proof that treasure still circulates among us. Who knows? Your next nickel might just be worth thousands of dollars and make you rich in an instant.